enhanced humans sent to investigate a ghost ship whose crew had killed each other. As the movie opens, we see that in the future, genetic modification of embryos is quite popular. Aboard the starship Telios, a crew of GC astronauts, led by Commander Linden, wake up from their cryosleep when they make it to Saturn. Their objective is to find out what happened to Atramitos, a mining vessel that has been drifting off Saturn's moon Titan. They don't see the point of a rescue mission, so Nordum explains they need to recover the cargo. Suddenly, they hear a weird noise coming from Atramitos. It's death metal music from the 90s. The Telios crew arm themselves and get ready to board Atramitos after Zimmer overrides the access code because for some reason the inter-system configuration changed. At that moment, the crew is attacked by an improvised security device. Zimmer discovers the black box has been forcibly removed, but at least he gets access to the system and manages to turn off the music. Anderson finds that all the greenhouse plants are overgrown, and among these plants there's Lulu, Atramitos' robot servant, who informs them there's one survivor left on the ship. After destroying another security device, Duncan finds Travis, but he's unresponsive, almost in a catatonic state. Orson goes looking for the cargo, but unfortunately it's not there. The Atramitos tracking system is disabled, and the scanners didn't find any signs of the cargo or the crew. The only DNA present is still Travis and the plants. Travis is the ship's junior engineer and his file shows nothing special about him, he doesn't even have military training. Duncan goes to see Travis and tries to bond with him through kindness and discussing matters like friendships in the crew and the effect space travel can have on the mind. Duncan points out that it isn't uncommon for not GC people to develop feelings for robots, especially if they look human. Since Travis is an engineer, he could have added some modifications, and Zimmer conducts a medical examination to confirm that Travis modified Lulu to give her private parts. Linden decides they'll allow Lulu to visit Travis from time to see if she can be the carrot they can use to control him. Moments later, the system goes out in the whole ship, and they discover Travis has escaped and he's probably armed because there's a pulse rifle missing. Duncan goes looking for him and ends up at the end of Travis' weapon, so she tries to make him talk to her by using kindness again. Then Duncan goes into the next room to spy on them through a hidden camera, and she hears Travis whisper things to Lulu in Mandarin before kissing her. Afterward, Duncan goes looking for Orson and finds him wandering in a corridor because he forgot what he came here for, which is strange because he never forgets anything. Zimmer knows Mandarin, so Duncan plays the recording of Travis' words, which are gargled because of the whispering. Linden notices Zimmer coming out of Anderson's room without his uniform, but now they need to concentrate on the emergency, which is made worse when Zimmer realizes they've been locked out of the system. Linden comes back fine, but Zimmer has passed from the air pressure, so Orson takes him to the infirmary for a medical examination. Afterward, Linden scolds Anderson for what he did with Zimmer in the bathroom, reminding her that primal indulges aren't for GCs. Then Duncan goes back to the computer to translate the Russian sentences she heard earlier, and this is heard by Anderson, who points out that's a complex quote from War and Peace by Tolstoy. Linden asks her to send new encrypted messages out to Earth until they get an answer, and this makes Anderson cry, so Linden yells at her for being emotional. He thinks that if Zimmer hadn't been with Anderson, he could have seen the error in the cargo bay before it almost got them killed. Linden orders Anderson to go see Orson to check why she's being emotional, then he shares with Zimmer what he's found in the logs. The cargo bay door was where the cargo got jettisoned from, making Duncan think that the cargo was this compound that reacts badly to water and can be harmful to humans. Linden thinks all this is circumstantial evidence and orders Duncan to get a confession. In the meantime, Zimmer informs Linden that if the cargo had been released, then it would have pulled into Titan's atmosphere and it would have survived the landing thanks to the special box it was in. Duncan asks Travis to confess where the cargo is or Orson will hurt Lulu, and at first Travis doesn't react, he only watches how Orson gets the robot's arm. But when Orson's about to go for the head, Travis finally snaps and gives them the codes to track the cargo box. Linden decides he and Zimmer will go down on a pod to recover the cargo. Since he couldn't forget all the terrible things, he decided to embrace the craziness so he could tell the story on his own terms, because nuance couldn't be explained on a captain's log. After the crew had successfully mined the compound from Titan, one microscopic bit on someone's glove got through quarantine and into the water supply, making all their water lethal. They sent a message to Earth to warn them the compound wasn't safe, but Nordum only told them the ship came with a special water filtering system made by his company that could deal with the compound, meaning they always knew what it could do. The crew got divided into two teams, but those who didn't want to bring the compound back to Earth were killed by those who wanted to obey Nordum. Travis survived by staying away from the conflict, and the winning team got killed one by one from the shadows. GC Labs wants the compound to kill regular humans and use their blood to fix GC people. The Earth is burning and regular humans are being hunted just like Travis said, and the crew only has a few hours before they'll go completely mad. Orson, Anderson, and Duncan get together to discuss the issue, and Orson points out Travis' blood could fix them all. 16 hours later, Lyndon and Zimmer return, but they get into a fight as soon as they re-enter the ship. Zimmer and Anderson are against taking the blood, but in the end, Duncan agrees with Lyndon and Zimmer that it is better for one person to die than 5. While Orson goes to start the procedure on Travis, Anderson confesses to the others she doesn't trust Orson because she saw him working on a suspicious quote from The Art of War. Duncan explains he has just been translating the text they heard Travis say to Lulu, and she finally realizes her mistake. The quote indicates it wasn't Travis that killed everyone, it was Lulu. At that moment, Lulu wakes up and immediately knocks Orson out. Eventually he finds Lulu in the cargo bay, and since she's in combat mode now, she's better than even a GC person. Duncan is found by Travis, who immediately knocks her out with his rifle, but this gives out his position and allows Lyndon to shoot him too. Lyndon's holding Travis hostage to stop her from moving, then he and Duncan shoot at the ship's lighting system to make it explode above Lulu and electrocute her until she breaks. Afterward, Lyndon gets Travis ready to be killed while calling him depraved for the modifications he made to Lulu, which Travis denies. This makes Duncan change her mind about the vote, and instead of attacking Travis, she kills Lyndon. She let Travis live because he said he didn't modify Lulu, so she wants to know why Lulu modified herself and why she was able to lie. Duncan tells Travis to take her away in Telios and tell everyone on Earth his story. Once Travis and Lulu are safely far enough in Telios, Duncan overrides Atromito's protocol and makes the ship crash into the surface of Titan to finally get rid of the problem for good.